Hey, what's up guys? It's Sauceman K, and today I'm here for a pretty interesting video. So if you've been keeping up with anything going on in the Dragon Ball community recently, or just been on the internet at all, you've probably heard about Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, the new hot Dragon Ball game that everybody's been talking about, and also lost 90% of its players, at least on Steam, in like the first month of it being out. You know, People say that doesn't really matter too much, which yeah, it's just Steam numbers. But if you look, I mean, I was looking at the PS tracker numbers the other day, and Xenoverse 2 is like pretty much outperforming Sparking right now, at least on Sony's numbers. I wonder how it's doing on Xbox. But I guess that's kind of like the topic of today's video. It's basically just, is Sparking Zero a good game? Is all the discourse around it correct? And I guess I should preface when I say that, I mean like the negative discourse, because I'd say there's like maybe a 50-50 split between people who think the game is like the best thing ever and people who think it's like absolute trash. And then there's like that 1% in the middle who's like, yeah, it's solid, but there are some issues. And, that 1%, I guess it's like a decent 1%, right? Because there's a lot of people in the community. But I think I would inhabit that 1%, because I think the game, it definitely does have some issues. If you saw the qualifier tournaments for the game that Bandai was hosting the other day, or I guess a few days ago at this point, you would know that some of those issues are just blatant and honestly game ruining. The two finalists kind of just abused cheese tactics the entire time and decimated every single person that they fought in that tournament. And then when they got to the finals and played against each other, they just showcased their movement tech and dicked around for the entire match. And it was to the point that Bandai told one of the players, Heliaster, I believe is how you say his name, Heliaster got told to switch off of his characters, and he told the devs, hey, if I do that, I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose the match. That's my whole play style. Like, that's how the game works. Like, that's the style that you guys have basically allowed for me to use because of how you've made the game. Like, if I don't use that style, I'm going to lose, That's what happened. The match went to timer, and he lost, and now he doesn't qualify for the, I think you're going to Battle Hour or something in Las Vegas if you won that tournament, but... Which, that's interesting, too, because, people say, oh, the game's not competitive, it's not supposed to be taken seriously, oh, who cares if it's unbalanced? But then Bandai's holding tournaments for the game, It's like, what? I said, I do think I do inhabit that small 1%, or, decent 1% of people who, they do recognize that the game has issues, but they also still do enjoy the game. I've been talking to my friends about this, and it's like, yeah, I can enjoy the game, at least offline. I don't really play online, specifically because if you've noticed, if you've actually played the game yourself, the timing online is just completely different. Like, I can go and play against the AI and vanish, super counter, do whatever I need to do on super difficulty, not super strong, it's just super difficulty is the hardest difficulty in this game. I can fold the AI and do it seamlessly, but then I go online against like somebody who's in D rank or something, and I can't even vanish their attacks. I'm just getting ping-ponged around the map. And it's like, maybe it is a skill issue, but then I can switch and go to the hardest difficulty offline and do it seamlessly, It's just stupid shit like that. There's too many small issues in the game for me to actually like list them all out in like a cohesive manner, which is why I'm gonna link a amazing document that the some of the creators of the community made. A lot of notable figures, like if you've heard of the name Grandmaster Hawk, he was the #1 top-ranked North American competitive Tenkaichi 3 player, at least back in the day. So like people like him are in the they contributed to the document. So yeah, so the document just kind of has a lot of I guess not like high level, like super, meta stuff, but it's more so just like, hey, these are people who have played the previous games, who were the best at the previous games, and they're looking at Sparking and saying, hey, there's some core issues, just blatant changes and issues from previous games that, you completely butchered in Sparking, right? And it creates this just obnoxious, just tedious, toxic game flow in which the best thing to do is, like we saw in the qualifier tournaments, is to use Ki Blast spam, unblockable, charge Ki Blast juggling, Drone 19 spam, unblockable super shenanigans. Like, that's what you have to do in this game if you want to succeed in the top levels. And that's specifically because of how they've designed the game, If you were to go back to Budokai Tenkaichi 3, Raging Blast 2, even fucking Xenoverse, right? The shit that they're doing in this top level meta bullshit is not possible in those games, right? It's specifically possible in Sparking, right? Any issue, literally, when I say this, I'm being 100% objectively truthful, like the most, blatant uses of the word possible, right? Like, like the issues in sparking only exist in sparking. They're unique to this game, right? You go to any other Dragon Ball game, these issues don't exist, right? So it's just kind of disappointing, I guess, you know? Like, this was supposed to be Budokai Tenkaichi 4, right? That's what they marketed the game as being. That's what everybody was hyped to get. And it's just this janky, watered-down mess where it's just not even really a fun gameplay experience, you know? And I mean, like, I'm saying that from the offline perspective. Like, I feel like when I play the AI, I'm getting bored because of how just, like, tedious and repetitive the gameplay is, because of how basically every single scenario boils down to a Vanish War. There's not really too much to do in the sense where it's like, you know, a lot of characters share the same combo strings. A lot of characters didn't even get updated from their previous forms in the other games. Like, they just have the literal same movesets, which is like, okay, that's fine. But, you know, for other characters, like, you should probably improve upon their movesets to make them more modern and actually give them something decent, you know? So, I don't know. Shit like that. Because, you know, at least for me, right, when I think about what do I value in a Dragon Ball game, you know, what am I there for, what am I looking to play, it's a Dragon Ball fighting game, it's an anime fighting game, you know, I don't really care about online, I don't care about chasing Z rank, I just want a fun gameplay experience, you know. And I feel like a lot of people, they just see like the graphics, right? And they're like, oh, I shot a really big beam and it looks super cool. This is the most fun I've ever had. And it's like, okay, graphics are decent. They're not decent. They're great. They're phenomenal graphics, okay? But that is just all visuals, okay? You know, and maybe there's just like two types of people. Maybe there's like visual fun fans, and then there's people who have fun when they're actually doing something cool within the game. Me personally, when I'm trying to, you know, have fun on the game, it's when I'm comboing, it's when I'm doing these, you know, unique gameplay interactions where I'm actually countering, you know, what my opponent's doing and being rewarded for high risk, high reward gameplay moments, you know, thinking outside the box, shit like that. Like, just a good gameplay fighting experience. That's what I value in a fighting game, right? Not necessarily a competitive fighting game, because, you know, we all know Sparking Zero is not competitive, but, you know, as like a fighting game as a whole, I want that good combat balance, you know? And that just does not exist in Sparking, right? You know, if you've heard any of the complaints that people have said on YouTube or, you know, Twitter, whatever, you know, one of the main things is that the defense in the game is completely overbearing in comparison to the offense, you know? Basically anything you do on the offensive side can just be instantly snapped down and countered by a super counter, which is honestly very easy to do in this game when you just mash your up and square at the same time. It's pretty simple, you know? There's a lot of things, like if you know like what a perfect smash is from the previous games, you can do a perfect smash in mid-range and the opponent can hit square and X to initiate a vanish attack. I don't know what the buttons are on Xbox or anything, but yeah, square and X will do a vanish attack, which just, you know, utilizes some ki. You hit two buttons and it does it for free, and that will almost always perfectly counter a perfect smash, which requires your opponent, or I guess you if you're doing the perfect smash, to hold down your attack button and wait until your character glows. And I think it's like a 1 frame activation window where like you glow and then you let go of the stick or the button and then you teleport behind your opponent for a perfect smash. If you do that, your opponent can just hit square and X and just instantly shit on you for it and then start comboing you. And it's like, I don't know, like, that might not seem like a big deal, but it's like when you have like issues like that sprinkled throughout your entire fucking game, and those issues don't exist in previous games, it's like this isn't anything worth playing, I guess, you know? At least for me. Like, I can have fun when I just get on and dick around, but if I actually want like a comprehensive experience where it's not just keys strangling in front of my face with pretty visuals, where the game's just doing obnoxious bullshit, where it's not even really playing, like, I'm not even really playing the game half the time, right? Half the time I'm just doing like these scripted interactions where I'm just doing counters or vanish wars or super counters. Like, I'm not actually comboing or doing anything, you know, with my brain. I'm kind of just reacting to what the fuck the game's throwing out at me. So, and hey, maybe, you know, that's just because I'm playing the bots, right? Which is, you know, I'm playing the super difficulty bots. But hey, obviously a top level person's not gonna, you know, or give out the same experience as a top level bot, right? A top level person's gonna be a lot more of a challenging experience. But then that kind of doubles back into what I was saying earlier, which is like the online is just kind of garbage, you know? Right, the document that I'm going to link, you can go through in the document and just see, like, there's just retarded bullshit all throughout this game. The qualifiers proved it. Like, you know, I think if you yourself have played the game at all for any extended period of time, you know, you got the instant sparking spam, the ki blast barrage, right? That shit specifically is really annoying, because if you go back to like Budokai Tenkaichi 3 or Raging Blast 2, you can't spam your ki blasts. You have a set number of ki blasts that you're allowed to fire out. And that's why like you have to actually like count the number of ki blasts you're throwing out so that you can actually utilize them properly, and then set up a scenario in which you can actually capitalize. In sparking, you can literally just spam infinite ki blasts until your sparking bar runs out, and while your opponent's deflecting those ki blasts, they can't do anything, right? That's how Heliostor was able to hit like 3 or 4 fucking Cybermen with a Shining Slash ultimate and completely decimate this guy's team in the qualifiers, because he just kept doing the Trunk strategy where he would throw out a couple ki blasts, use the unblockable one, and then hit you with a dash super and murder you. It's just like, you know, and I can keep stressing this because like maybe, you know, it just doesn't get through people's heads, but those issues don't exist in previous games. I think that's the biggest issue here. Like, you can have fun with the game, you know, just like how a monkey can have fun throwing shit at the wall, right? Or jerking its fucking dick off and licking the fucking cum that comes out, right? Like that, like a monkey can have fun doing whatever, right? Does that mean that it's good? Does that mean that it's like high level entertainment, or, you know, something worth paying $100+ for? Because people did do that, right? People paid $100, $120. I think the legendary Ultimate Edition was like $150. So it's like, yeah, bro, people are dropping hundreds of dollars on this half-baked mess where you can go back to any previous Dragon Ball game. Budokai Tenkaichi 3 came out in 2007, and these core game issues do not exist in that game. It's just, it's like, what the fuck, bro? Like, I don't know. You know, and then I hear people saying, "Oh, well, those games, those are different games. Those are their own game." Well, the game Sparking was marketed as being the next Tenkaichi, so that's what we're going to compare it to. Raging Blast is a derivative from the Tenkaichi series, and it improved on a lot of shit that was in that, you know, game series. So when we have the new iteration of those series, and it's just this half-baked mess where it doesn't improve on really anything from the previous games, and instead introduces a plethora of unique issues that only exist in Sparking, it's like, fuck, dude. How would I call that a good game? How would you call that a good game? You would have to cope and just say, well, you know, it's fun. I can enjoy it personally. And it's like, that's fine, but I go back to the monkey example, you know? I wouldn't pay $150 to have a monkey throw shit at me, so why would I pay $150 to have some retard spam ki blast at me and then nuke me with an unblockable Broly super or something like that, you know? Like, it's just, I don't know. It's disappointing. And I think I mentioned this earlier, you know, I can still have fun on the game, you know, it hasn't ruined the experience for me. I don't play online personally. I think that experience is dead for me, right? You know, playing online with friends in like a private lobby might be one thing, but I'm never going to go fucking play ranked. I don't give a fuck. Like, it's not even worth my time. If you have fun doing that, you know, good for you, you know, but it's just not really a worthwhile experience when you're not even being rewarded for anything. You're being rewarded for exploiting cheese, exploiting the game's piss-easy defensive mechanics. Did you guys know that it's 5 times easier to vanish an attack in this game, Sparking Zero, than it was in previous games? In Budokai Tenkaichi 3, the window to vanish an attack was 1 frame. In Sparking, it is 5. It is literally 5 frames. It's 5 times easier to dodge an attack in Sparking than it is in any other game. Like, it's just, I don't know, you know? Like, you could wrap that sentence up and say that's Sparking Zero in a nutshell, you know? It's just 5 times easier than the other Dragon Ball games. And, you know, it's not a super competitive, high-level experience, sure, but it's supposed to be fun, you know? And I can't really have fun, or I guess be engaged with a game and actually enjoy it if it's just full of bullshit. You know, just blatant bullshit. Blatant, stupid nonsense that only exists in Sparking. So, I think if I had to give like the game a number ranking, I probably would give it like a 6 or a 7, you know? I think IGN was spitting when they said that, you know? People say, oh, IGN, you know, they gave, a Metaphor a 7 or something. It's like, yeah, in comparison to other games, a 7 might be low, but as like a standalone experience, a 7, yeah, it fits. It's 7. Another thing that I feel like I need to bring up is the lack of customization options, or I guess extra content that's available in the game. Because, you know, you could cope and say, oh, well, the online isn't supposed to be competitive, don't take it too seriously, and blah. Okay, that's fine, right? And I would even kind of agree, because, you know, personally, myself, I don't look for those things in Dragon Ball games, or anime games in general, you know? I don't play Xenoverse online. I didn't play like Jump Force online or anything like that. Like I usually just play by myself or with my friends, and, you know, set up scenarios in my head, do the side content, and just enjoy the game, right? And yeah, I understand that, right? But when you look at Sparking, and you see that there is, number one, a just sheer lack of side content compared to other games, right? The story what ifs are lacking. The actual custom battles are just not really that good. They're just this janky mess that has a bunch of fucking just broken English dialogue that doesn't even really make sense. You know, the battles themselves are like janky as fuck because of the way that they actually set it up. Like the actual cutscenes are just like, they're just kind of abrupt and weird. You know, there's no real actual like animations to the cutscenes. They're just sprites doing like, you know, stagnant animations. Like it's really jarring, I guess, if you go and like play those game modes. Like, yeah, you know, the actual fighting part is fun, you know, after you get away from the scripted, you know, the scenario and the dialogue and the cutscenes, quote unquote. Right? Once you get away from all the actual stupid bullshit and can just play the game again, it's like, okay, this is decent. But then that's kind of my point. It's like, well, if the actual fun part, you know, is just like, or the actual cool part, the custom battle part is just this weird, janky, it doesn't really flow well. It's just like weird, right? And you actually just kind of want to get to the game and just get rid of the what if aspect. Well, then it's like, well, then what's the point of the game mode? You know, I thought that was the whole point, is to give us these new scenarios, let us come up with our own special Dragon Ball stories and all this cool shit. And then when it's just it's not even worth playing because of how it's delivered. It's just this half-baked mess where it's just like, I don't know, dude, like I can't really put it into words. Like if you go play custom battle and go look at the dialogue, right? Like they're not even like speaking English half the time. It's just like broken dialogue where words don't even really make sense of what they're being used for. You know, half the time when you're fighting the actual bosses, there's going to be like a scripted interruption where you have to go through like 15 fucking stagnant screenshots of like the characters talking, and then you can go back to the game. It's just not enjoyable, I guess, to sum it up. It's just not really enjoyable. And then also with the accessories slash customization options, because I kind of got sidetracked away from that, it's lacking. Literally just disgusting, okay? You go to any other Dragon Ball game, Xenoverse 2, Raging Blast 2, Budokai Tenkaichi 3, there are way more outfits, way more accessories, way more customization options for these characters than there is in Sparking. It's insanity. You know, I'm not really going to spend too much time arguing that, because if you disagree, you're just fucking retarded. Like, go look at the games. They're just not there, right? Like, the actual, right, like, the accessories, the extra costumes are not there. Where is my BoJack movie Gohan fit? Where is my End of Z Goku fit? Where is my Battle Damage GT Goku fit? Where is my fucking, like, it's just not there. Like, half the shit in the game is just not there, dude. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's nasty. And then also, there's the added, you know, part where it's like, this is the modern Tenkaichi game, okay? This is on the PlayStation 5. This is a $100+ video game, okay? If I want to, for example, put, you know, give Kami's staff to Fat Boo, right? And have it on Fat Boo's back, why can I not do that, right? If I want to put Gohan's 4-star Dragon Ball hat on Metal Cooler, why can I not do that? If those models are in the game, right, those assets are in the game, if they can be selected and put on certain characters, then that should transfer to everyone in the game. Like, there's no reason why I can't do that. If I want to put the Z Sword on Frieza's back, why can't I do that, right? Like, it's just, like, this is supposed to be the ultimate Dragon Ball game, and yet there are literally terrible customization options, right? So it's like, you know, when you're trying to tell somebody that, oh, just cope and enjoy the offline, just have fun with the game, when they can't even fucking customize the characters and create the scenarios that they want to create because the options are not in the fucking game. It's like, well, damn, dude. Yeah, this is a mid game. This is a 7 at best, all right? And that's with my Dragon Ball fan cope. That's with Toriyama's passing. Like, it's a 7 at best, guys. Okay, stop. Like, I don't know. It's disappointing more than anything, I guess. You know, I would have liked to see this game be the best thing ever, right? And I kind of knew it wasn't going to be the best thing ever. My friends knew that, you know, going into it, I was, you know, kind of hedging my bets and just, you know, waiting to see what it was like. And turns out I was right. It's not that great, but, you know, hey, maybe they'll fix it, right? Maybe they'll give us a patch that'll completely fix every issue of the game, and then, you know, in a few months after that, they'll release all the extra content and all the extra, you know, side modes and all the extra, you know, accessories and costumes, and, you know, but I don't really expect that to happen. You know, are you guys waiting for that to happen? Are you baiting? Are you holding your breath, waiting for these things to happen? Because I'm not. I don't really have any hope for it. But yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say. I'm just kind of rambling at this point. Check out the document. I'm going to link that below in the description. Go look at that. Read through it if you want to see any of the comprehensive issues of the game, because I'm not going to sit here and waste my time listing them out for you. But yeah. In conclusion, Sparking Zero, I mean, if you want to say it's a good game, I think it's just going to be, oh, it's fun. But then, like I said, the monkey example, monkeys have fun throwing shit at the wall, so who really cares? I think it's a, to answer my question, I wouldn't say it's bad. Because, yeah, it's kind of hard to say it's like a bad video game, but it's like, it's mid. It's mid. And with that, yeah, I am Sauceman K. Sparking Zero is mid. Dragon Ball Daima is probably mid. Probably. Although, it's also probably just not that good in general. Dragon Ball GT is better, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.